What if the dream was a lie? For decades, we believed Charles Xavier stood for hope, for unity, for peace between humans and mutants. He was a teacher, the founder, the visionary, the man who gave young mutants a home when the world rejected them. But peace comes at a cost. And Cyclops was the one who finally discovered what that cost truly was. It began with whispers, small inconsistencies, mutant factions that should have never agreed with Xavier, suddenly aligning with him, leaders with strong, rebellious convictions suddenly folding calmly, obediently, as if something had changed them overnight. Scott Summers, the loyal soldier, the golden student, the one Xavier trusted above all. But loyalty does not mean blindness. He began to notice Xavier pausing during meetings, going quiet, eyes unfocused, just long enough for an argument to evaporate and resolve in his favor. He noticed how certain opinions around the table never resurfaced, how memories felt rearranged, as if someone had edited reality itself. And one day, he followed Xavier into the Cerebro chamber. He didn't interrupt, didn't speak. He simply watched. Charles Xavier, the world's most powerful telepath, was controlling mutants across the globe, influencing world leaders, silencing dissent, shaping mutant history like a chessboard. The peace wasn't earned. It was enforced. And in that moment, the dream shattered. Cyclops confronted him. And for the first time in his life, Scott spoke not as a student, but as an equal, no as a judge. Xavier tried to explain. He said the world was too dangerous, humanity too afraid, mutants too volatile. If he didn't guide minds, subtly, the world would fall into chaos. But we never chose this, Scott said. You didn't give us the dream. You imposed it. And Xavier, with sadness, admitted it. Hope is not something the world accepts willingly. It must be taught. Scott could have walked away, but he didn't. Because Cyclops finally understood something terrifying. If peace requires the death of free will, there is no peace. He left the school that night, not as the X-Men's leader, not as Xavier's student, but as a revolutionary. Cyclops formed his own faction, one that believed mutants should rise, openly, honestly, without psychic chains, not as hidden protectors, not as scared refugees, but as a nation. And thus, Cyclops became something Xavier never anticipated. A leader powered not by hope, but by truth. Mutants began choosing Scott, not because he manipulated them, but because he finally told them what Charles never dared to say. We are not the dream. We are the future. And Xavier was now the past. The final confrontation wasn't on a battlefield. It was in the quiet halls of school they once built together. Xavier tried to reach into Scott's mind, one last time, to remind him the boy he once was. But Scott no longer needed his visor. His control was perfect, his conviction absolute. He simply said, "No more lies." The blast didn't kill Xavier. It only forced him to stop. The dream didn't die that night. It evolved. Cyclops became what the world always feared mutants could become. A leader with conviction. A hero without illusions, a revolutionary with truth as his weapon. And in the end, he wasn't wrong. The world doesn't change through dreams. It changes through those willing to burn the dream and build something real from the ashes.